what I want to do is I want to give you a little demonstration of what this efficiency management system coaching actually addresses. Okay? Now, first of all, it is based on some very basic fundamentals. Yeah? And to really understand what we do, let me give you an idea about the fundamentals first. Okay? As you know, any profession has fundamentals. And if you know these basic fundamentals, then you can become very good in that profession. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So these fundamentals are 5 altogether. So I'll demonstrate them here by putting those 5 lines on a piece of paper. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to demonstrate this to you on the principle of infinity logic. Now, you may have heard of finite logic, the Aristotle kind of logic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Yes, no, right, wrong, black, white.
Ah,
yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a good logic to work with, but it's limited. Infinity logic basically expands on it because it says, well, it can go further that way and it can go further the other way. There are shades of gray. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these 5 lines represent these, and by the way, just in case I haven't told you, I actually enrolled in Pablo Picasso's School of Modern Art.
Mm-hmm.
And I flunked. So you have to bear with me, okay? Now I'm putting a line down right in the middle of it because this is the dividing point. This is the tipping point. Yeah? From here on, over here, it gets better. And then over here, it gets worse. And right in the middle is like half-half, 50-50. Just kind of balancing it. Okay, make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, good. So the first line obviously would have to be about efficiency itself. So efficiency is on the right, and on the left we have waste. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's define efficiency first. We use 2 different definitions of efficiency. The first one is the engineering definition of efficiency, and that is the ratio between input and output.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's see what I mean by that. Let me give you some examples. Let's say you put 1 gallon of gas in your car, and all you can drive is 5 miles. That's not efficient. If you can drive 50 miles on the same gallon, well, you start getting a little efficient. Now if you can drive 100 miles on that gallon, now we're talking about efficient. Would you agree?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
How about if it is about advertising? Let's say you spend $2,000 in advertising. You get $40,000 worth of business back. That's efficient.
Mm-hmm.
But if you only get $2,000 worth of business back, you're in trouble.
Right.
Yeah? You have what is called zero return.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you just got the money back that you spent, right? So this is the zero return point. Right here. Okay? From here on you start making money, from there on you start losing money. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Now the other definition of efficiency is doing a task. And when I say doing a task, I mean to completion, not cutting corners. You're not doing a shoddy product, but a high quality product or service that you have accomplished. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you do this task without wasting time and energy. And energy can be defined further as money, materials, and resources.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, when I go over this point, what happens quite often, people start telling me, well, what about being effective? Isn't that more important than being efficient?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's take a look at it. Effectiveness can be defined as producing a desired result. Would you agree?
Yep.
Yeah? Let's say you have a headache, you take an aspirin, the headache goes away, it's effective. It doesn't go away, it's not effective. It's like one of those black and white things, right? However, let's say you hire somebody to paint your house. That painter comes and he's bungling around. he brings the wrong equipment, he brings the wrong paint. It takes him a month to paint your house, right? But he delivers the desired product. He's effective, but he's not efficient. You see, he's wasted a lot of time and energy. Okay? However, you cannot be efficient without being effective. Because you always deliver when you're being efficient. So efficiency is the senior concept that encompasses effectiveness in it. Make sense? Okay. So tell me of a time that you felt that you were efficient in running your business.
When we had 5 salespeople and all of them brought in contracts of about 10,000 a week.
Excellent. Good. Thanks for telling me that. All right. So let's move on to the next one. And this is very interesting, what comes up as the next point. Because it is, on the right-hand side, it is being right, and on the left-hand side, being wrong. Now, without going into any kind of a philosophical discussion about what is right or what is wrong, let's just stick with some very simple point, and that is, nobody likes to be wrong. Nobody. I have yet to run into somebody that tells me, man, I've been really wrong today. Boy, am I excited about it. No one does that, right?
That's correct.
Yeah? So focusing on wrongness doesn't get you any place. All you do is get more wrongness. Right? So the correct way is to focus on what is right. And even if an overall action is wrong, if you find and identify the parts of those actions that are actually right, and you strengthen those, you can actually turn the action from a wrong action into a right action. Make sense? Okay, so we only focus on rightness. We don't focus on what's wrong. Got it? Okay, so tell me of a time when you felt that what you were doing was specifically right.
There was when I made this invention
Oh,
that we
yeah.
are selling.
Excellent.
Yeah, that was right.
Excellent. Good. Thank you. All right. So now the next one after this, interestingly enough, is the concept of help on one end, and on the other side, it's betrayal. Now, betrayal, that's a pretty strong word, right? So let's first of all take a look at how can we define help? And the most simplest and most correct definition for help is assisting, right? If you assist something, you help it. If something assists you, it helps you. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Good. But there is a second point to that. And this is this one. If one person's life moves in this direction and another person's life moves in this direction, they cannot help each other. It's impossible. Let me give you an example. This one is a real estate agent who wants to help you to find the correct property for you. This is a guy who owns a Harley and a tent. No way, they cannot help each other, right? However, if for a limited time only, in a limited area of their life only, they agree that they're moving in the same direction. Let's say they both volunteer for some church program. Okay? At that moment they're moving in the same direction, and at that moment they can help each other. Make sense? Okay. Now this is a very, very vital part that needs to be known and understood in running a business. Because if you have in your organization one person that either does not know, does not understand, or is willfully ignoring the direction that your company is moving in, or you want your company to move in, that person is going to do something that'll make you say, why did you do that? And you will feel betrayed.